rejoicing isn't mentioned as a Lojong practice, because surely it has the
Isn't
characteristics.
it in there? I mean, it might not be actually explicitly mentioned, but it's so well known as actually the whole of the Lojong is actually would come under the heading of rejoicing in the good done by others. You know, that whole idea. You know, may you have the victory. May you benefit from this. It presupposes that we're rejoicing that other people are receiving that. You know, you're winning, and I'm rejoicing in that you're winning. You're actually progressing on the path to awakening. I'm rejoicing in that you're progressing on the path to awakening. That's what I really want. I want you to progress. You know, I'd rather you progress than me even. So if you're thinking like that, you're naturally, you know, Tibetans all know this, you know, that actually that produces so much punya for you that you then have more punya to give out. I mean, that is the whole principle of Lojong, is rejoicing in the good of others, actually.
Move to sympathetic to anyone, all the apamanas. Rejoicing.
When we bring the apamanas in, yes, that would be there anyway. But I think it was one of the first things that, I really am going on today, aren't I? It's one of the first things that Kala Rinpoche taught us when we were, I went out to India, was this wonderful story of rejoicing in punya. And he really told this story often. And many, you know, like it was this idea that there was I don't know where the story comes from. It's from, but the Buddha was, a patron was making a big offering to the Buddha, this wonderful feast. And this beggar woman came, and when she saw this wonderful feast that the king had offered, she really rejoiced in the good, you know, in his goodness, and in the punya he was making by making this wonderful offering to all the Buddhas, to the Buddha. And at the end of the feast, the Buddha said to the king, well, now I'm going to make the dedication, you know, the blessing, for, you know, as a final act of this feast, and I'm going to give it to the person who's made the most punya today. Is that all right with you? And the king said, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And then he actually gave it to this beggar woman, because her mind had been so pure at that moment. So then the next time the king was making a feast offering like this, and the beggar lady came, she was in a different mood, and when she saw the feast, she was thinking, you know, in a more ordinary way, she was thinking, oh, I hope I get some of that, you know. And so then when it came to the dedication at the end, the blessing at the end, and the Buddha said the same thing, and this time, you know, the king sort of said, yeah, all right, you know, give it to the one who makes the most punya, yeah. And then the king, and then he actually got the punya because his mind was pure at that moment. But it was a lovely story about, you know, the power of being able to truly benefit in the good done by others. You actually make the punya that the other person's making by rejoicing in it, because it's all about volition. So if your volition is absolutely pure, you actually make that punya. Isn't that amazing? And the more you understand Dharma, you realise, of course, that has to be true. You know, at first it just makes a good story and cheers you up, but you know, later on you realise more and more that it must be true. You know, given the interpenetration of all worlds and all the rest of it, must be true.